Going to start by taking our little guy off here. So go ahead and disconnect it. Take off your handles. And notice where you're taking them off from, so they're on the actual eye hook that comes out of the wall. And then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and place it in the eye hook that comes from the floor, okay? Then what we'll do, we're going to work right into a shoulder opening. Mine is on static. I know you guys have yours on dynamic because I checked everyone except for this one. Yeah. And then what we'll do is this. I'm going to show you on an angle. You guys know this. Whenever you pull on it, right, so you always keep your low back stable, just put your kick forward and see how much tension you have in it. Once you do that, then I'd like you to turn around and face the middle of the room. Your palms will face each other. Your shoulder blades will work back. Now you should feel a nice opening across the front side of the body. Now when you come forward like this, when you come forward like this, pull your shoulder blades back and down and make sure you have just enough resistance so that it supports you. But watch me for a moment. You could see I'm just slightly leaning forward, and I do these pulsations. And these pulsations really help the lymphatics. It helps to bring a lot of awareness into the nervous system. Exactly. So how are you? Good. We're being filmed. Yeah, what's that? Well, I'm glad you're here. So we're going to take off your handles, and you see how they got it hooked up? Good. Now, the thing about this, when you do this, make sure there's no breaks. So somehow it's like, as you move forward, you don't even really see the arms pulling. You see very little physical movement other than the body moving forward and backwards. Exactly, Lee. And then you can also notice as you walk your feet a little bit more forward, keep the elbows slightly bent, and it pulls so many of the groups of the muscles at one time. And then we watch to make sure that the arches are not collapsed, and again, that there's no breaks. Beautiful. And this is much better to do it this way than having the tension from up above, okay? So, and then that'll be the last one. So back up slightly, and then what we'll do here is we're going to grab both of these and we're going to back up. Now watch me. When I back up just enough to rest my chest on my thighs, and then slowly I'm going to straighten out the legs. But look here, the elbows are slightly bent and I let the head hang. Well, I'll tell you what to do from there. So go ahead into it, back up. Remember, you're backing up enough so the chest rests on top of your thighs. Then you know you've got just the right distance. Once your rib cage is up on your thighs, then go ahead and start to straighten out. So move back a little bit more. Your arms are actually straight as you're backing up. Lead back up some more, and then start to straighten the legs out. So not enough that you're playing tug-of-war. Good, that's exactly it. Straighten out your legs a little more. Now let your hips lean slightly back. Yes, like that. That's exactly it. And see if you can slowly straighten out the legs. Now, once the legs are slowly straightened out and your back is stable, then do the same thing. Now, when you lean back, remember, you might have to bend your elbows because if you go back too far, you wouldn't want to feel like you're going to go flying back. So stabilize the low back, but as you rock back and forth, you guys should feel a nice release into those hamstrings. And then keep those inner knees rotating internally as you work those femur bones back. Now, that's good. Now listen very carefully to this. Bend again so that the chest comes slightly down to the knees, and then I want you to just balance yourself and let go of the handles. But let go of the handles so you don't go flying backwards, you see? So you have to let go of them, and you still have to stay supported. Yeah, let go. Go ahead, let go. Beautiful. And then go ahead and slowly take your hands to your hips and nice and easy coming up. You see, the reason why we let go of it is if you try to walk forward, it's too unstable for the low back. And you can kind of see how that works. All right, so let's take this back off now, and let's put it back on top. So you should just move that little lip, and then go ahead and put it right back onto the same eye bolt that's coming out of the wall. That's it, guys. Good. Yep, right back into there. You got it. Excellent. Now, let's take the handles one more time. And then what we're going to do is what we usually do for our warm-ups. We usually have the general things that we do. So we want to open up our legs pretty wide. You want to pull the shoulder blades back, and all the movement is from the core. Keep the toes soft. Don't worry about coming down too deep the first time. So always an exhalation down, inhaling up. Check in with your knees. Keep your elbows slightly bent. And then once you feel like you're as deep as you can go safely, let your head gently melt down towards the floor. So a few times up and down, you're bringing a little bit of fluids into the knee and into the shoulders and into the wrists and elbows. And remember, whenever you're pulling on a band that's on an exhalation, and you still have a slight rotation, an inner rotation of those thighs. Elbows are slightly bent. Now remember, I want everybody to take the little finger and release just the little finger. Don't use the little finger, and don't use the thumbs. Now slowly, just those 3 fingers, and notice as you come up and down how the arms work differently when you liberate those little fingers, the pinkies and the thumbs. And 2 more times. Back down, back up. Beautiful. Last time down. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly come on up. Now, let go of your handles, move your wrists around one way and the other, and let's get a little spinal extensioning here. So what you'll do is switch it out for your loop. Kick foot forward, pull on it one time. We know that it's nice and static. Go ahead and place it up over the head. And then when you're ready, I like to come into it this way, guys. So once you're leaning forward, your feet are separated about 3 or 4 inches, and the band's holding you up. Then you're going to come high up on your toes, okay? So you don't want your feet too wide, because when you take your arms out like this, you stay high up on your toes, and you let your sit bones drop behind you, and you should feel stable here. And if you feel stable, then go ahead, and you can watch me just place your fingertips out in front of you, arms are extended, then go ahead and straighten out the legs so that the outside edges of the feet press down first into the heels, and then the big toes. Nice. Now the first thing you'll do is you'll just get the extensioning. You'll release the head, you'll keep the face nice and soft, and so the band is holding you into place, and there's a rehydration that occurs. So your intervertebral discs are actually, there's a reuptake, and from sitting all day, you get this extensioning. Now, Lee, you can walk your feet back just a little bit if you want, maybe 3 or 4 more inches. Good. And then gently let the fingers float up. Not quickly, slowly. Let them float up a 1/4 inch or so. And then really spiral the skin of the inner knees to the wall behind you as you press the outside edges of the feet down. Take your hands to your low back. Your hands come to your low back nice and easy. Now, it's really important, as if there were 2 hooks up around the front of your clavicles, and the 2 hooks are lifting you slightly up. So you don't want to have a rounded effect in the back side of the body. You actually want to go into this extensioning mode, just like that, Robbie. Good. Now, if I come around and I move your kneecaps and they're loose, that means you're not really engaging the muscles that you need to engage of the upper legs, the thighs. So engage them, and then create a little bit of space in between your toes. And breathe. Stay with the breath. That's it. That's what you want to hear. That nice, deep inhalation. Every time you inhale, that floor of that diaphragm presses into the abdominal organs. It stokes a lot of the different acupressure points. And then slowly, when you're ready, go ahead and bend at the knees slightly. Watch that you don't collapse into the wrists, and slowly come on up. Well done. And then let's bring a little awareness to the front side of the body. So all we'll do here is take the band just slightly beneath the shoulder blades. Now you have to watch again that your mat doesn't slide out in front of you, because if your angle is too unstable, it will. So what you'll do is you'll keep your hands on your hips, and you'll press your feet down. And if you press your feet down into the mat and try to push the mat away and your feet don't slide, that's great. Then take both of your hands up. You can look at me if you want. And then, it's just like this. If you try to press up too quickly, your feet can actually slip. So you're really trying to be conscious of the physics of the movement. Beautiful, Steve. So my job is to look at all the different parts of the body. When you exhale, do the knees go out to the right? Do they go out to the left? Right? Are the arches collapsing? Does it feel like the back of the neck is shortening? Right? Lengthen the back of the neck. That's it. And then even the way you stretch the arms is interesting. You stretch the bottom part of the arms all the way through the tip of the little fingers. And as you stretch them, the shoulders work down away from the ears towards the hips. And then keep the back of the kidney soft, beautiful. Get that lengthening out through the back of the neck. Beautiful, Steve. Every time you exhale, come down. That nerve energy shuts off on that exhalation. 2 more times, and that should be just enough to bring the awareness into the fascial system in the front side of the body. Keep the jaw soft. Last time. That looks great, Lee. And go ahead and release and slowly come on up. Well done. Well done. We are going to take our band and put it up over the shoulder. So a lot of times we'll do a lot more warm-ups than we do. We're still slightly cool. So what we're going to do is take off the PNF loop. So now we're in dynamic mode. So we were just hanging from it. And then what I want you to do, just look at me one time. You know, I usually say use your hands and put your kick foot forward. We can't do that. So all you'll do is you'll drop down and you'll get a sense of the resistance. So go ahead and try that once or twice. You guys are all pretty adept at this. And drop down, and you know how much resistance is there. And then after you do that 2 or 3 times, then I want you to go ahead and come on up and face the front of the room. Okay? So do you remember when we went into down dog and it was static and we went like this? This is the same, it's the same movement, but the only difference is now we're dynamic. So we still want to stay up on our toes, okay? And then we want to drop down. Now we know the band, it's a bungee cord, so it moves. So I can put my fingers down to the floor and I'm not falling over to the right or to the left, and then slowly come on up, as if you were to jump quickly, right? And then again, come down slowly. When you come down, your body shouldn't feel like it's going to fall. So that's the whole point. Then we come down one more time in slow motion. Now imagine the rubber bands. You're pulling rubber bands down from the ceiling. And then watch me for a moment if you'd like. 1, 2, and I come up and I drop down gently with control. About 3 times. Good. Up you come, and I look at the knees. When you drop down, are the knees going in to the right, to the left? Are they valgus, vargus? Try to keep them. That's it, Robbie. Land down like a frog, like a grasshopper. Beautiful. Come on up. A few more times. Yes. Very nice, very nice. Great. And beautiful. And release. Very nice. Back up. Go ahead and take it up off. Okay. And let's leave it on dynamic because we're going to use it again. Switch it out for the handles one more time. Good. And then what we're going to do is we are going to keep the feet together nice and easy. We're going to drop down as if we were sitting into a chair. We're going to lift the right leg up like this. You guys know this pose. Take the leg back and actually see if you could just, without the knee actually touching the floor or the foot. Maybe it touches it, but the thing is you don't rest it. You'll take it back. And look at my foot for one moment, the back foot. Try not to let, as you come back, the foot turn out. Try to keep it as if it were tracking straight back. That is what's going to limit your range of motion, okay? So think of if it were tracked in between 2 boards and you come back, yes, that's it. And then again, so you want to do this 6 or 7 times, beautiful. So it's requiring coordination, it's requiring a certain amount of agility. That's it, that's it, that's it, take it back, nice. And remember, not too much of a grip. That's it, Stella. That's it. Good. Nice level sit bones. Beautiful. And I hear you exhaling and the exertion when you pull the bands. That's it, Steve. Good. Nice work in the top of the thigh, Robbie. And slowly. Good. Now immediately bring that right foot back. Cross the left foot. Cross the right foot over the left, and then you guys know how we drop down. You may have to hop back once or twice, and then drop up and down slightly. So you should have a nice center of gravity here. It shouldn't feel as if you're going to go flying backwards or forwards or sideways. Yes, and then imagine every time you come down like that, looks really nice, Stella. When you come down, it's actually, you feel a lengthening in the side of the torso. There's always a lengthening as opposed to a compression. So it's as if when you're dropping down, your sit bones work down, but yet the shoulder blades and the rib cage, it works away from it. Yes. 2 more times, nice. Keep the face nice and soft, tongue nice and soft, and release. Well done. Shake your legs out. You can put your hands in the handle if you want, move them around once or twice. They're very fast oxidative muscles here. They use up the oxygen quickly. So we've got to bring it back. All right, and then let's do the other side. So we're going to come back down nice and easy. The feet are together here, right? And then slowly when you're ready, right? Take that left foot back. And remember, it's as if, like in a pair of scissors, you have that center bolt that holds the two pieces of the scissors together. The movement in the hips are like those two pieces of metal moving across that center bolt. Yes, so they stay level, the hips. Beautiful. Maintain your balance. That looks great. Feel that hip flexor release. Nice. Take your time, Stella. That's great. Good. And exhaling. Yes. Yes. Lower those hips when you come back. Good. You got it there. Nicely. Well done. And then release. These are larger muscle groups, so we hold them a little bit longer. We do more reps, right? And then without much time passing by, let's do the opposite side, right? So when you're ready, the right leg is now going to cross over the right, and then you're going to exhale and drop down, okay? Because the right leg was the standing leg, so actually you guys have to reverse. You need the right leg over the left, because we just had that left leg working back, and the right leg... Oh, okay, then go ahead, do the opposite. That's fine. Okay, I stand corrected. That's all right. Thank you for that correction. Good. Of course, you know we're going to cut this part out. Okay, good. Very good. That's it. So, like, this is a really good example. So, like, the leg that you were working, that standing leg, every time you came back, you worked it so much that then you cross it up and over, and that's what helps release those muscles. In theory, today it didn't quite work out that way. Good. All right. Very nice. Beautiful. And release. Well done. And then go ahead and let go, and again, move the hands. Beautiful. Shake the legs out. Excellent. And let's come back to the band. And you're going to take your right leg out. So put it up over the head, take the right leg out, only the left leg is in the loop. Good. And then slowly, when you're ready, you're going to remember to keep about a foot of space, of slack. So when you walk into it, you get that internal rotation of that thigh. Make sure it's not too close to the pelvic floor, okay? And then gently, when you're ready, what's going to happen in this pose is you can watch my feet, how they start to move back. I'm moving them back. And all I want to do is I want to take my hands out in front of me, and I've really got to stabilize this knee in front. So it's as if I was using two weights. And we do use weights sometimes, but look at what happens here, this back foot. All I do is I lift it up, and I take it down. I lift it up, and I take it down, just like that. I lift it up, I take it down. And then, once you start to master that, and you feel like you've really got your balance, then what you can do is keep the foot up and actually move up and down, like this. So the whole point is actually eventually to be able to do this stuff without the support of the band, to create a new demand. Yes, you can do both. Lift the leg up, move the hips up and down. That's it, Robbie. Good job. So all the movement is systemic from the core. Systemic from the core. That's it, Lee. Good. Think of core. Think core. Think core. Nice. And release. Beautiful. Back up. Go ahead and shake the legs out. Remember, you can put your hand on the wall so you would never fall out. Otherwise, you guys are pretty adept. Yeah. And then let's do the other side. Okay, so put it back up and over. Now take the left leg out. Yep. And get it right in the center. That's it. Get that internal rotation. Great, Stella. Beautiful. And then, right, little bit, the feet kind of move back so that you kind of know, all right, I'm pretty balanced here. And you can literally, like I do this without even the band because I've done it so many times. I've created that demand. Yes. But then the band is nice because you can use it for those PNF stretches, right? You can work the agonist, antagonist. Good, beautiful. Nice job, Steve. And imagine, too, use your visualization. Imagine you're holding 2 weights, which we're going to use the weights in a little while, but just the visualization is enough to really change the effect of the pose, psychologically, emotionally, cerebrally. Beautiful. And release. Very nice. Go ahead and shake your legs out. Nice work, Stella. Huh? That's very common. Very, very common. Exactly right. Yep. All right. So we're going to come back to the handles. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the handles off of the black bungee cords, and we are going to put them on the white static rope. And we know that that white static rope is also hooked up into a pulley, just to remind you. Good. And then just to check it out, you'll pull on it 1 time, right? And then when you pull on it, the same thing, your kick foot forward, just go ahead and move it along its pulley axis. All right, great. All right. Now, what we're going to do, first of all, is we are going to have the palms facing you. You want your big toes to point slightly in, but look at my hips for a moment. You don't want this kind of an action. Watch my hips. You're not looking to do that at all. If anything, the sit bones are heavy, and it kind of just, see that? It kind of puckers down. And then what you want to do is lift your arms up. And then slowly you'll come up, and then keeping the arms in place, exhaling down so they stretch all the way. Inhaling up. The elbows are constantly lifting and trying not to have any breaks into the hip. Let's do about 6 or 7 of those. So the elbows are bent, and it's as if these lateral boards here were just pivoting down and coming back up and pivoting down, and that would be your body. Yes. And then you'll say to yourself, like there's a ledge underneath there, and go ahead and lift up, 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 up. Yes, you see, like that. Beautiful. And you're right, I was just going to say, move your body forwards or backwards to just the right angles. So by the time you get up, you're firm into where you need to get that flexibility and also build up the strength. Very nice. Great. Nice work, Steve. Beautiful. Feel that. Excellent. Thighs rotate internally. Remember to lift those elbows up, Stella. Good. Robbie looks great. Nice. Try to keep the hips from breaking. And go ahead and slowly, last one, release. Nice and easy. Good. Good. So I just want to point something out to you guys. Do you remember the very first pose that we did? We put it on the eye hook on the bottom. So think about the way the muscles and traps are everything, the way they're built. When I come into it like this, unless I've got a really stable angle, it's not really the best way to get the release across the front. When it's in the bottom, totally works all these groups of muscles the right way, which is really what we're looking to do. Now, the next pose, you are going to take your mat, and you're going to fold it up 2 times. Times. Good. And then once you do that, just come in front of it and face the middle of the room. Good. And then just cross the right foot over the left. So the right leg crosses up over the left. And then I want you to put your arms up like this. Then slowly, the next pose we're going to do with these handles, but what you'll do is you'll come up on your toes, and notice how you press your knees in together to hug the midline. And then what you want to try to do is, watch me quickly, I just want to kind of turn around and end up where I started. That's what you're doing in this pose. But it depends on your range of motion. So go slow, but the most important thing is to keep the hips from moving. So the point is, if you cannot go all the way around because maybe you don't have the range of motion today or in this moment, only go as far as you can go and don't make a complete turn. Just go 90 degrees. Don't worry about going 180. So it will look like this. And remember, the pulley is really a pivotal part of this, no pun intended. So I cross the right leg over the left, and it's all about the tensions in the arms. So arm imbalances or muscle imbalances in the arms, they show up rather quickly. I come on up, and I try to move my arms and everything. So there's none of this. Try to keep it straight, arms, everything comes up according to, and then look here, and then you drop back down. The reason you're dropping back down is because when you do these rotations, these D1, D2 things for the arms, that's a thrust at the end. And a thrust is very therapeutic. So face the wall, beautiful. Nice. It's like a liquid swirling around inside of a straw. It always keeps the form. Maybe you went the wrong way. So you probably turned the wrong way. So face it again. Cross the right leg over the left. Okay, good. And then you want to turn this way. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then end up. Then that arm's got to come up. Beautiful. But that's good because that's the whole thing is it's the coordination of it. And that's exactly what you're training. Yeah. You got it, Stella, by golly. Very good. And then keep the strength, keep the lengthening, keep the lengthening, keep the lengthening. It's okay, it's good. Remember, as I always say, if you fall out, it's actually a really great thing because your body's learning. That's part of what we're doing. And then when it becomes really easy for you, we got to change it out because you've mastered it. I've got to change it. Got to change something. All right, and do the other side. Nicely. Good. Beautiful. Nice. So it's almost as if there's like in a marionette, somebody's lifting and pulling, so there's always that lengthening. Left over the right. Come on up and out. Yes. And sometimes when you get more proficient, you do it a little bit more quickly. But with a rapid response, with precision, if you will. Yes. That's it. Go ahead. Get those muscles to cooperate and group. And one or two more, and then that'll be it. Yes. Good job. Oh, you'll slide like that. You'll slide because you're on the slippery one. That's pretty creative, though. It's pretty creative. It is. You know what I say, Stella? Sometimes I say, imagine that you're on oil and your feet, or talc, and your feet are just moving up over that talc. All right, but we're finished. You could do one or two more. But everybody else, what we're going to do now is this. You're going to take your whole assembly unit and put it up over the peg to your right. All right, nice. You mastered that nicely. Was that a little bit better? Yeah. I'm going to try that. You see, we're always learning something different. All right, take your mat and unfold it. Now make sure it's lined up with the center bolt. And then what you want to do is this. You want to take 2 blocks about of 12, 14 inches away from your wallboard. Put just 2 blocks there. At least 12 to 14 inches away. Take your barrel lock, remove it, and set your board down. Watch not to trip over the board once it's down. Good. Then, because we all have 4 blocks here, then what you'll do is this. You'll take your other 2 blocks and you'll put it pretty much at the corner, you know? Maybe it's recessed about a 1/4 inch back from the lip of the board, the end of the board. Great. And then, let's take this up and over. So by the time you get your mat up, it should be somewhere at the edge. That's good. And we'll take this, Stella, a little bit more towards the edge like that. Good. And put the other one up. You can lift that up. That's great. All right. So you can take the whole thing down, but what you really want here are just the handles. So take the whole thing down and then go ahead and put the loop back up over the peg. Or if you can, just take the handles down, that's fine too. Okay. Now the thing about the handles is once the handles are down, just pull on them one time to make sure that the loop will not fall. Then you're going to take this down probably about just enough. You see how the tail comes to the top, to the bottom of the hood? Do that. So the tail comes to the bottom of the hood, and that's your starting point. Yeah, I want you on static. Thank you. Yep. And that's your starting point. So this here will come right to the bottom of that hood. And you're good. You guys stay just the way you are. Now, what's going to happen is this. So I'm going to come down. Now, remember, that's just a starting point. So I'm going to come down, and then I'm going to come back like this. I move myself back. Then what I do is I take my foot and take it through just the hard molded part, but you have to watch me first. And then I take this through as well. So now what happens, again, I lift my hips up like this. Now I make sure that my neck is really liberated and I don't sound like my voice is muffled. And then what you want to do, it's as if you were riding a bike. So the idea is to try not to let the knees or the legs turn out. And you find this nice motion here where you come forward and backwards. But look, you've got to keep the hips up like this. And that's the pose. You just do this nice and easy. You could support your hips with your hands. And then we'll do a couple of things where we let the legs come out to the left, and then we let the legs come out to the right. But we'll focus on that once we finish with this part. Okay? And again, remember, sometimes I say that's the starting point, but if you're really tall, you might want to lengthen it out a little bit more. So for you, Steve, I'm going to lengthen yours out just a little bit more, maybe to the top of the hood. Try that. Stella, you look pretty good. Okay, what's going to happen with the hips? Up they go. And you hold them up. You hold them up. Your head is never against the wall. That's it. And work more slowly than quickly and observe how the legs are moving. Are they tracking out to the right, out to the left? Lift your hips up, Steve. Keep them lifted. Keep them lifted. That's it. That's it. Sometimes you can use a block. Nice. Keep the face soft. Think of something you love. Chocolate. Your wife. Your friends. Breathe into it. That's it. Now reverse the circles. Reverse them. Not so easy. Not so easy. That's it. Good. 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 That's it, Lee. Good. Keep that core going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Okay, rest. Let the hips drop down. Let them drop down. Nice and easy. Good. Just for a moment. And then when you're ready, just after you're finished, right about now, put your hands back down on the board. Lift the hips up. Lift them up so you're on one plane. Now everybody, very gently, without the hips moving to the left, let the legs go out to the left. Without the hips moving, it's kind of hard. You've got to try to control. Yeah, to the left. So I'm reversed, but exactly. Thank you. Yes, that's it. And keep that core lifted. Now take them over all the way to the right. All the way to the right. Observe what's going on. Good. Get a nice stretch into that anterior tibialis. Keep those hips lifted. Feel a stretch on the left side of that torso. All the way from the hip to the left outer edge of the foot, back towards the other side. A nice rapid movement. Beautiful. That's it, Steve. So it's almost like something's pulling that right hip to the opposite direction. Yep. And back towards the center. Beautiful. Now, inhale here. Watch your head's not against that wall. And open up the legs wide away from each other. That's it. If you touch your friend, just say hi. That's it. Breathe into it. Keep the hips up. Thighs rotate internally. Beautiful. Keep that face soft. Breathe, 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 breathe. And release. Easy. Legs come together nice and easy. Beautiful. And slowly, when you're ready, release your handles. Good. So retract the feet back. Nice work. Really nice work. Good. All right. So Steve doesn't want to come out. He's like, no, I'm going to stay a little bit more. Okay. When you come on out, now normally, because you guys are pretty adept, normally I would take the blocks down one setting. We're going to keep the blocks in the high setting, and what's going to happen is we're going to switch these out to dynamic. So take it off your white rope that's on the pulley and place it just on the black bungee cord. Just on that black bungee cord. Very nice. It's nice to be able to use the board for a little support when we... Okay, so you're going to come up on top of your board. Now, I should have my toes just slightly off the edge of the board. Now, I want to show you, so this is where I'm at. I probably want this tightened just a little bit, but I don't need it to be tightened. So watch what happens. I lean slightly forward. Now, if I didn't have the handles, I would fall, right? But, so I do what I did in the beginning of class. I inhale, I exhale, and I need to maintain my sense of balance. Then, remember how I had you jump? You're going to jump like that, and then you're going to look, and you're going to jump back up. So, I don't want any jolting. So here, it's going to pull you back when you jump. So you have to, when you jump up, press into the handles to get up. If you think it's too much, I want you to come down and move your block. See how that gives you that pull back? And that's what you have to anticipate. Yes. Now we're going to lengthen yours a little bit more for you. And then you're going to watch when you come in that it doesn't pull the hands back. Lee, let me lengthen yours a little bit too. Just a little. Is that a little better for you? Yes, that's it. Good job. Good, try it, good. Back up, nice up jump, beautiful. Okay, try it, yep. And then push into the handles to get up, Lee. Push into the handles to get up, don't fall. Ah, very nice, that's okay, good. All right, 2 more. Nice frog leap, beautiful. All right, and release. Well done. Let go of them. That's nice. Move the hands around, exactly, yep. All right, so this is kind of an interesting one here. So what we do is this. You have to just kind of watch me first. So I have both of my handles, and I have my right foot in the loop. And then, now remember, we're on bungee cords everywhere. I hop back a little bit, just a little. And then all I do is I get myself centered nice and easy. And then once I get myself centered, now if I want the foot higher up, I jump back a little bit more. Then what I do is I let go, and I maintain that, and I hold my sense of balance. Then what I do is I let that fall out nice and easy. I hold it up, I take my arms out, and then back to the side. That's all I do. Let's try. Piece of cake, exactly. The key is right before you let go of the ropes, and right before you let the loop fall out of the foot, the key is to take an instant picture of what is occurring in the body. Yeah, so just balancing sometimes is you got to wrap your head around it, right? Not literally. All right, good. And then you decide how far you want to come back, and you hold those handles. Then you tighten up all the muscles. You take all the slack out of the body because you're pulling. And this is the hard part. Once you pull at the handles and you create some pressure with the foot, then as soon as you let go of your handles, the handles may or may not touch the band, and you've got to anticipate that, and then balance. That's it, and then balance. Now, slowly, remember, anticipate it, good. Lift the foot up, hands come out to the side, palms face the ceiling. Nice, Stella, good. And you can either leave the foot there, or if you think you can take it out without falling, go ahead. Beautiful, that's it, nice. Good, stand that straight leg, and release, beautiful. Well done. Just a different way of getting to the same place, through another means. Let's do the other side. Great. That's it. Back up, hop that foot behind you. Nice. Because once we have this balance here, then we're going to turn around where we're going to put the boards up and do a little stuff with the quads. Well, we'll keep the boards down. Good. Nice work. Nice anticipation there. Beautiful. And then effortlessly, yes. And then the palms come around to the side. Good. Oh, walk your foot back more, Robbie, the standing one. It'll be easier to hold yourself up, even more if you can. Yes, that's okay. Good. That's okay. Beautiful. That's nice. That's the whole point, is to challenge the balance, but without falling. Exactly. Good job. Nicely. Well done. Good. Keep that big toe grounded. If that big toe comes up, you lose it. Good. It's okay. Good. That's the whole point. Remember, the more that happens to you, the more you learn. That's the thing. And release. Very nice. Get 2 more blocks. Actually, no. Grab a chair, because we're going to need a chair for the next pose anyway. Not for the next one, but for 2 or 3 down. So grab 1 chair. All right, now I've got mine, and you've got yours. Good. All right. So sometimes you'll put someone against the wall like this, and then you take your foot and you do this, and you could really feel it. You could feel what's going on here. As a matter of fact, step to the side and go ahead and do this. But the thing is, you want to try to make sure that your knee in front that's bent, the right knee comes up on the wall. You want that front knee to be lined up with the left one. So find a spot maybe right over there, Stella, or there, that's fine too, doesn't matter. Now, Steve, you see how the knee that's bent is out more forward? You've got to walk the other leg out a little bit. So the fronts of the legs, and then you got to get yourself upright. So you have to try to release that hip flexor. The front of the hip bones have to come up as that tailbone scoops down. So for Steve, his knee here is lined up with this one. So you're going to have to hop this foot more forward, beautiful. Then take your hips forward. Good for the golf. Good for the golf. Beautiful. Nice. That's it, Stella. Good. Now, that's what we want to remember. That's what we want to feel when we do the next pose. And release. And release. And release. So, what's going to happen, you can use your blanket if you want. You don't really need it, but what you'll do is this. You're going to make sure your foot is about, actually the way you'll do it is this. Your left leg will be up against, the calf muscle will be up against the board, and if you're up like this, you have the same thing occurring. Then, so everybody do that, and I'll walk you through it. Right leg is up, the front of it is parallel, and your left leg is out. Right? Hips are nice and level. Put your two hands on your hip bones. Beautiful. Then when you're ready, your chair's out in front of you. All you're going to do is keep the foot and everything where it's at. You're going to take your leg up nice and easy and just hold the pose here. And then you can back up, move your left foot forward, drop down even more. If you want, you can reach behind, and then this would be the pose, and then you can take your arm and hold it like this. If it's too much for your knee, you can put a blanket down. Good. You're welcome. I got it for you. There you go. Beautiful. Nice. Excellent, Stella. Now remember when the foot was up against the wall and you felt that? Systemic from that place. Nicely. Keep that elbow bent. Keep that elbow bent. Now, see if you can take your other arm up. Well done. Well done. Very nice. That's it. Work that right elbow back so there's a bend in that right arm. Pull that left shoulder blade back. Liberate those hip bones so they lift up. Let that tailbone drop. Lengthen from both sides of the torso. Keep the face soft. Tongue soft. Good. Eyes soft. Beautiful. Just let go slowly so the foot doesn't jolt by the knee. And then go ahead and release. Well done. Really nice. Good work. Nice deep stretch. Let's do the opposite side, okay? If it was too much, go ahead and take the blanket for the next one. So remember, the starting point is it's just there to first come slightly forward because you used the chair. Then if you can maintain that, you'll back up, walk the foot about another foot forward, and then take it back, right? And eventually you can have that right foot, if you're balanced, have that right ankle slightly out in front and hold it. Breathe into it. You will probably much more challenging on this side. Yes, and pull that right hip back. Pull that right sit bone back. Stella, you make this look too easy. Very nice. Work that. It's very nice. Good. Work this back. Lengthening from both sides. Excellent job. Stretch that little finger up, 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 up. As the elbow slightly bent, shoulder blade pulls back around from the ear, soft from the toes and back. Nice, Steve. Beautiful. That's it. Open up. Keep the eyes soft. Keep the tongue soft. Couple more breaths. Nice. Get that release into that left hip flexor. Greatly. Nice, nice. Bend that elbow a little more. Bend it a little more. Feel what goes on when you create that. Pull that right shoulder blade back down. Don't let it go too far out. From the left side. And release easy. And release. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Excellent. All right. Here, you come on your board. And to bring a neutrality back into it just slowly, right? Open up. You could even take your hands, your index and middle finger, grab the toes and come to what in yoga they call dead bug pose. It's a really nice way to release the back side of the body. It's a nice way to open up the lymphatics. And it's a nice way to relax your nervous system. Very nice. Breathe into it. Feel what's going on in the body. Very nice. And when you're ready, roll on up. Roll on up. Beautiful. To a nice seated position. Good job. Good job. All right. So let's take our band, put it up over the peg to the right. And I told you that we were going to use the pulley and this was a precursor to the next pose. So I'm going to lift my board back up, make sure everything's out of the way, otherwise it doesn't come up so easily. Be mindful of where your props are at. Good. Nice. So you will need the chair, for sure. The blocks you do not need. So let's take all 4 blocks and put it right to the right, put them right to the right of your board, if you will. That way, you really want them to be out of the way. Then, what's going to happen is this. I'm going to take my chair out, maybe just so that the front of the legs are up off of the mat. Then I'm going to take down my handles, and once my handles are down, I want to actually put the loop back up over the peg. Go ahead and do that. All right. We're going to have to switch your handles from the bungee cord to, once again, the white static rope that is on a pulley, or operating from the pulley. Once you've got that, go ahead and take your handles down so they just come in contact with the floor. Slight contact with the floor. So go ahead and let go of them, Stella, and then release them about 3 inches. Good. Now, let me show you the pose that we're going to do. What's going to happen is this. I'm facing the wall, and I am going to put my right foot into one of the handles. And when you put your right foot in, make sure the foot comes up over the brown part. You don't want the foot to be in contact with the molded handle. Then turn around and watch me. So when you got it, now you'll watch me. So what happens here is I start to turn around. Watch me first, otherwise you'll get lost. I take my other hand with my handle up on top. Watch this. I lean forward. Then, do you see what happens right here? Now, we just did a bunch of balancing poses. This should be pretty easy for you. If not, what happens? You just let go of the handle if you lose your balance. Let go of the handle. You'll come right down, okay? And you can always get yourself back into it. So, what it is this. Once I come in, look at my foot on the floor. Do you see where the webbing is at? It's right where the foot meets the bottom of the leg. And then what I do is I lift my leg up. So now I have to balance. Now I want to make sure I put pressure on my handles with the 2 hands. And watch this. I bend my leg. A lot of these things we had already done. And you see this, and I lengthen. And if I feel like I need a chair, fine, I can use the chair to stabilize myself, and then I can take my arm back up. But otherwise, what you'll do is this. You'll drop down, and you'll come forward. Drop down, come forward. See, I'm showing you a little bit more quickly than I usually do it. So, put your hands in it like this, like Steve. See how Steve got his hands in there? Yes. And if he ever felt like he was going to fall, he would just let go of the handles. And then he'd just get his balance back. Yes, Stella, like that. You've got it. Take your time. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Beautiful. Good. Challenges your balance, doesn't it? And one could very easily say, well, why not just do this? What do you need that for? Because you're working outside of habit. That's why. And then you kick that foot back. Beautiful. Nicely. Well done. Good. Couple more times. Watch that you don't get caught up in it. Yes. Good job. And other side. Other side. You can just totally let go of the handles, let the foot come down, get used to that. Nice. And the opposite side. Remember that center pin that connected 2 pieces of metal and scissors? That's the movement. That's the movement. So there's a playful demeanor, if you will, into the pose. And you find your dance. Find your dance. Beautiful. Good. Great. Yep. Now, sometimes we use a belt. So, like Steve can go further, and if he had a belt connected to the handles, he could take it much further. But it's not about trying to do what in yoga you'd call Virabhadrasana 3. Nice, nice, good. That's a nice, strong reflex. You took control of that. That's exactly what you want. That's what this helps. This helps firing up the muscles that you need very quickly to respond. Beautiful. Yes, that's it, Lee, that's it. And try not to let the knee go out too much, too far. And then bend that standing leg when you let that foot come down. Bend it and keep the pressures, right? Robbie, when you let that leg come back forward, bend into the knees. So you're taking, yes, like that, Steve. Two more. Stella, great job. Great job. Great job. That's great. Beautiful. Well done. Nice. And release. And release. Very nice. Wonderful. All right. Let's take our chairs and put them back as we are done with them for just that one thing that we needed. All right. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to go upside down. So we still have a bit to go, but after that work that we've done, a lot of the stuff from the SI joint, want to kind of bring a neutrality into it. So what we'll do is this. Before you disconnect it, you know your rainbow static strip, go ahead and reconnect it to your swivel hook so you're in static mode. Yep. Once you've got it in static mode, then go ahead and take your PNF loop off. So you know the rainbow static strip, it's got the two little yellow antennas. Like this, Stella, take the whole thing off. Go up 2 more inches, Stella, 2 more inches, take it off that. Yep, beautiful. And then place it up over the peg to your right. So take that off, beautiful. Then go to the bottom of the rainbow strip and take your loop off, the MBB loop. Good, so everybody's got it? And then you'll see the dangle-in carabiner. Go ahead and place it up and over. And then what we'll do is, remember, we put your thumbs on it and pull it down. I know, Stella, people are like, oh, not this lengthening again. No. Good job. Great. All right, you're starting to make that look easy now.
Yeah, it's sliding better.
Uh-huh. 2 thumbs is the trick. It really is the trick. Yep. All right. So, now remember when we go into this, I know you guys know, you've done it many times, just remember that come into it one time first like a swing and notice how you stabilize yourself into it. So go ahead one time sideways. So turn sideways, Robbie. Yep. And then just swing one time. Just gently. All right. Hold it up on top and swing. All right, good. Now, maybe lower, a little lower, Stella. A little lower. Okay, don't go back, don't go back, don't go back, don't go back yet. Nope. There you go. Let's do this one a little bit more. Now the reason why, Robbie, is you're gonna make sure this is a little bit lower. You don't want it where you would sit in a swing. You need it 2 inches higher, exactly. So you're gonna move it back a little bit. Yeah, but you gotta turn around now. All right, now start to lean back and go ahead and take your knees to the outside, remember? So your knees go, and then we actually pull this back a little more, 2 more inches. 2 more inches. Yeah, there you go. Nice job. Great. That's it, Lee, and pull that down. Well done. Good. Stella, stay there. Take your hands to the back of the backside of your butt. Take your hands to the backside of your butt. Now pull that down. Pull it down. Grip it with all your fingers. Yeah, pull it down a little more. 2 more inches. A little bit more up. Yes, that's good enough. Do you feel how now it lengthens out the low back? Good. That's it. That's it. That's in a nice place, Steve. Beautiful. It gives you this lengthening out from your low back. So your head should not touch the floor. It does? Okay, good. Then you're good. Then you're good. Beautiful. Nice. Very nice. Excellent. And then, just move around a little bit. You want that movement. And if I move you around and you get dizzy, just say, oh, no, Miguel, I get dizzy. But otherwise, a little bit of movement is really nice. Okay? Beautiful. Nice. Give me your hands for a minute. Hands beautiful, and then just coming forward like this, and then just totally relax. Does that feel okay? Feels nice to the low back. I'm not going to let you go. You don't have to worry about that. Good. Nice, Steve. Beautiful. Good job. Good. Let the head hang all the way, Robbie. Let it hang all the way. Yep. Yep. So now just hang, and I'm going to time it 1 more minute. Should be enough to just really get a nice release. 1 more minute. Totally relaxing. That looks great. Very nice. Breathe. Feel that decompression. 20 more seconds. That looks nice, Stella. Great. Great. Love that. Put your arms out like a Y, palms down on the floor. Palms down. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Beautiful. Beautiful. That gives a really nice stability. And then remember, you really don't want to jolt when you're upside down. So with control, very gently. Now, Steve's going into a back bend. If you guys know the back bend and you want to go into it, go ahead. Otherwise, you can slowly come on up and out. Beautiful. Nice work. Well done. All right. And then what we're going to do from here is this. Take your time, Steve. You're going to put your right foot in and just look at me. So like go against the wall, palms against. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up against the wall and you're going to put your right foot in your loop like that, okay? Then what's going to happen, once your foot is in, now only if the first quarter of the foot is in, don't put the whole foot through, okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is put your hands on the board, okay? So the first thing you want to do is if you can feel the board, you want to feel balance. And then what happens is you move a little bit away from the wall. You hop your foot out, and all you do is you lean slightly forward like this, and you back up. Now, if you came out too far, no worries, move back. But you see this? That's what you're going to do. And then once your body knows that you feel stable, watch me. I can actually hop my foot back to the wall. I'm up on my toes, and then I come forward. But you don't want to feel like you're doing this, leaning over. You've got to really get that heel in just the right place on that wall behind you. And you can use a block, and you'll come forward. Then the heel can come up off of the bolt. It doesn't matter. Now, if it's too much for, yeah, so let's try that. Good. And sometimes you could even put your foot on a block, because this is a little high, so watch this. But the thing is that you have to be careful of is that, move your foot more here. Yes. Is that you're firm. Now slowly. So actually, watch this. Watch this. So come on out. All the way. I want you to come on out. I want you to take your foot out. I want you to move. Now, put your foot up there. There you go. Nice. Now, that's the floor. So basically what you're doing, you just have to watch that you don't lose your balance and fall. Slowly lean forward. Beautiful. Keep a slight bend. Nice. That's it. Few times. Let the weight of your body drive the pose. But remember to get the extensioning. Keep that left thigh rotating internally. Beautiful. Yes, like that. Do you see how you really have to stay in control? So if you're locked short somewhere, you're going to lose your balance. So the key is to not go too deep to lose your balance. Stay in control. Yes. Huh?
Right foot just goes to the left.
Yeah, so bend this knee. You're hyperextended. Keep it slightly bent. Yes. Now, do you guys remember? A lot of times when we do this, we use the bungee cords. Today we're doing it statically. All right, good job. And then let's do the other side. Okay? Nice work, Steve. Everybody really nice. And the bungee cords trick the spindle system of the body. and it becomes more PNF related. This is more static. So what we could do for you, because this is just, yeah, it's just we could length. Oh, were you getting a cramp? Is that what it is? Here, you still have a little room here, actually. That makes a big difference, that little bit. And then, but move it in close to the center line, so watch this. And then you could even put this one here like this, so that they're both at least, yeah, exactly. And then try that. Nice. You gotta hold it. When it comes to hamstrings, guys, it's not like you go into it for 40 seconds. You wanna hold it a little longer. And then you wanna stay in utter control into the hips. Yes, Robbie, like that. It's a slow release. Nice, nice. Beautiful. That's exactly it, Lee. Yes. This thigh rotates internally. This thigh rotates internally, getting extensioning up and out of there. That looks great. I don't know if it's just that you're deeper in on this side, but it looks really good. Really good. All right, beautiful. Nice, Stella. Those little, if you do it quickly, those are what you call the active isolated stretches, holding it no more than 2 seconds. So you go deep into it, 1, 2, then you release. You go back into it, 1, 2, and then you release. Active isolated stretches. You don't give the brain a chance to really know how far you are into that stretch reflex. And release. Beautiful. Nice and easy. These are great hamstring stretches. Now, second variation of the hamstring stretch, on the floor with the bungee cord. So, what will happen? Don't overthink it. 1. And notice I move both of my hands together. Both. They both move up. One and then the other. Fly. It's like a zipper. Zip it up like a zipper of a tent. Right? Just 1, 2. There you go. That's okay. Not bad. Yep. It's knowing exactly where to put this. If this is just a 1/16 of an inch off, it makes it look awkward. Okay. So, now that we're zipped up, zip line them, you're going to reconnect this to your bottom of your PNF loop, and the bottom of the hook on the PNF loop. Yep. You got that? And then go ahead and take the whole assembly unit down and reconnect it to where you took it off from the beginning on the carabiner. And then go ahead and release your rainbow static strip. Okay? Very nice. Now, this is the thing. If you're starting out here, you see this little slider? I want my loop to be at least 2 inches up off of the floor. So I may have to lift it up a little higher than my starting position. It makes a big difference. You can do it this way. I can probably just get it. I know if I keep doing this, it's harder for you to get it, but that's all right. Good. Little, Pup, you got yours? Yep. Okay, great. Good, yes, you do. All right, get your 2 blocks. Actually, get 3 blocks. So 2 blocks on the side, 1 block on each side, and then the second one on the left side. So 2 on the left side, 1 on the right. Then what you're going to do is this. You're going to hold your belt in your left hand, the loop, and you're going to back up, put your right hand on the wall, and go ahead and take your left foot through. And the reason I say hold the wall is because sometimes when you do these stretches with the hamstrings, it has an effect on the nerves, and sometimes the foot doesn't cooperate like you want it to. Then you're going to come forward, and you're going to get that internal rotation. So that's really important. So if you look at me, I've got some room here, and as I lean forward, it spins. You can see the pants, and it spins the skin. I want to make sure this is not up into my groin. It's got to be at least 2.5 inches, right? Now, I take my right foot forward, and I'm balanced. Then, I take my 3rd block forward, and I like to start out with the block with the medium setting. Watch this. Right foot forward, you got to watch now. Right foot forward. My blocks are behind me. Do you see this? Why? They're brakes. Do you see that? They hold me up. And then I'm able to come down. So that's where I'm at. Now the band is holding me up, which is great. It'd be really hard to do without it. Then watch this. Broop, broop. Keep your third one with you. Don't, if you move too far back, keep it with you. Now, what happens is the back foot works behind you a little bit more. And the active isolated stretches we talk about, up, exhale down. Up, exhale down. And then, if you're more open, watch my back foot. I lean forward, and then I slide the top of the foot back. Do you see this? And I'm taking it even deeper, right? And try not to let that right big toe. Now, the third block is because what happens is you could actually take one of the blocks and put it right behind that thigh, stabilize it, and you can come on up. And you know the other two blocks are always there. So the point is to not necessarily feel like you've got to go deep into the splits. Not at all. The point is to work the hip flexor of that left leg, work the hamstrings and the adductors of both legs. Yes, without that knee feeling, that left knee as if it's going out to the left. Nice, Stella, good. And then lengthen out. Good. So see if you can take that back leg and have it a little bit more. So what I would back up a little bit out of this, make your whole body slightly behind you, and now turn this whole leg this way. Yes, much better, Lee. Doesn't that feel better? Huh?
Yeah, it feels better here, but this one's going the other way.
Yeah, so just take it slightly in and don't go as deep. That's much better. Better to go not as deep, but keep the form, because you don't want to overstretch any of the tendons and ligaments. Beautiful. And then you can rest into it, on it if you want. That's it. You can do that active isolated stretch. Again, so we're doing 2 sets, right? The first one statically, second one dynamically. Yeah. Very nice, Steve. You're going to get these splits after all. And the point is, does anybody really need to do splits in life? No. Unless you're unless you do acrobatics and things like that. It's just not something that most of the population has to do. However, if you build up the right strength and things, it's really nice to go deeper and deeper into them. You bring a lot of blood, you work the fascia, you keep the pelvic girdle and everything nice and stable, and then release. So when you release, right, you remember, so I can show you, when you release, right, you guys all came out of it anyway, right? Just take your foot back. Good. Now, but watch this. Sometimes what you'll do is you'll just let it fall out like that. Okay. Shake the legs out. Feel the difference between the two sides. It should be pretty obvious. And then let's do the other side. Okay. Nice and easy. Opposite side. Remember to not let that inner band come up into the pelvic floor. At least 2 to 2.5 inches. That's it. Now you've got it in that right leg, and the band, the bungee cord is stabilizing you. Looks good. You have that slight internal rotation on that right thigh, so you feel abundant into your SI joint, into the hips. Abundant hips. Yes, Stella, just like that. Beautiful job. Now see if you could focus on straightening out this front leg a little bit more. Have the bent one, the back one bent a little more, yes, but keep the heel of that front leg pressing down so you do not hyperextend into that left knee. That's the key. Now, Lee, this looks much better for you because you're not buckled in both knees, so you're doing less, which is more.
This side is easier.
Yeah, and for most people it isn't. Or for most of the population, it isn't. This looks nice. You've got nice tension here. You've got nice stability. Good. And some of you can take your third block, place it up under there. It's hard to get that height. It's not easy to get that height. You've got to release those hip flexors so you're not scrunched up into that low back, so that you're not overextended into the lordosis of that low back. Yes, nice. Keep that knee in a little more. Beautiful. And are you able to take those arms up, or are you good? Nice, Stella. Good. Great. Great. Beautiful. Sounds like, oh, he's going to come down and make an adjustment. I'm going on to this one quickly. Very nice. Great. Robbie, you're really holding your own on this here. Really nice, because you can get a sense of where you're at. You're not overdoing it. Your face is soft, but exploratory. And it shows on the landscape. Same thing, Lee. Very nice. Good. Remember, the muscle system, it's what they call it's a paracrine. It produces and releases different hormone-like chemicals. Beautiful. Look at him. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. Steve, when you first came, and you did so many weights, you were really, the front side of the body, like a lot of people lift weights, and it's really amazing how you've really opened up in the front side of the body so it's more balanced all across the board with the different groups of muscles. And slowly go ahead and release. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful. Good job. Excellent. Shake the legs out. Great. Now, I think this is a really nice counter pose, okay? So you have to move your blocks maybe more forward, and then it seems like a weird counter pose, but it's actually really nice for the hips. But what it is this. You've got to make sure you put this where when you come down, I'm going to move my blocks all the way so you guys can see here. I put it where it won't slide off. And then I walk slightly forward, like this. That's it. And then my feet, and that's the pose. And I stay here, and then I take my arms up. So the thing is here, you don't want to ever feel like this is going to slip out. Because if it slips out, guess what? You're going to go really deep. Keep it glued. Turn yours around, Lee, so you have the non-slip part on the pent. Good. Yes, now come up on the toes, Steve. High up on the toes. You see? Yes, that's what you want. So go slowly. Go slowly. Yes, that's it. See, it's a really deep release. And inside your thighs are all these nodes, these lymphatic nodes. And what you're doing is you're creating all this pressure. You work the hips. Now you're creating this pressure, and hydrostatically what you're doing is you're helping the lymphatic system. You're moving fluids. Beautiful. Couple of up and down motions, but not enough that would make you jolt and slip. And then slowly when you're ready, come on up. Very nice. Stay in the band. Go ahead and turn around. Remember that you are dynamic, meaning the bungee cords are engaged, and then slowly when you're ready, you want the bungee cord. So watch me first before you come into the pose. Just watch me for a minute. I don't want my mat to slip. I should be able to take my hands up like this, and then I go back, and I support myself. Then I come forward, and then I come back. And look at my elbows and palms. Do you see this? I'm actually trusting that I've got just the right distance. Extensioning, flexion. Extensioning, flexion. Look at my heels. Up on the toes, slightly back. A few times. You've got to watch that your feet don't slip out. Steve, when you come forward, you've got to keep the legs straightened out. So if you think about it, we just did 2 pretty intense hamstring stretches. Now, because we did 2 sets, 1 static and 1 dynamic, when you come into this pose, your legs should be much more cooperative in allowing the back sides to release. Yes, like that, Steve. But trust now, when you come back, let your hips move forward and your torso back. Yes. So actually, when you come back, it's like the hips are leaning forward. Last minute, yes, like that, Lee. Yes, but you lean forward into the band. Yep. All right, that looks great. And then hands out in front of you into a downward facing pose. Beautiful. Up on the palms, big toes point slightly in towards each other. Inner ankles are lifted. Get the really nice extensioning. And when you're ready, walk your feet slightly forward, hands to your hips so the feet don't slip, and come on up. Very nice. Go ahead and place your band up around your shoulder. Go ahead and take your toe band out to the red line, lengthen it. You'll need one block for this pose. Good. And then, so grab one block, and what'll happen is this. Watch me first. So if everybody's got it to the red line, you're going to move forward enough that you place the band on the floor, but it's still up against the glutes. And then I move back. But the band didn't move, so it's pretty low. Then what happens is I put enough tension on this PNF loop that I come up like this. And then I'm going to lift my hips up once I've got that nice tension. And I'm going to extend my left leg and pull this in. Now watch that it's not twisted because it won't feel really good. You know, we open up the lymphatics and you don't want it to feel like it's being twisted. And then watch this, and then the other leg. So here, your hips are slightly elevated. You can move the block if you have to. Arms out to the side, and that's it. You got a nicer trajectory. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. Let the head hang. Let the head hang. Beautiful. Close the eyes. Make sure the block feels like you're in the most comfortable chair that you've ever been in. Kinda. And relax the nervous system. Beautiful, nicely, feet together, heels match. About 15 more seconds. You're getting extensioning to the back side of the body. This prepares us, so we have like 2 or 3 more poses left. And that's our 15. Slowly open the eyes. Release your feet gently. Put your feet on the floor. Keep them hip distance. Now, move yourself slightly back and come into bridge pose. So now your hips are going to be lifted up, and you're going to remove your block, okay? And you're just going to stay into what we call bridge pose. Back up enough so your hips are just slightly beneath the level of the knees. So don't rely on the band to hold you up. The band is an assistant. It's an assistant, and you feel that stretch, right, into that groin. Good, beautiful. Go ahead and remove your, nice. Good. Now, the stretch that you feel into the groin and into the legs and into just around the navel, I want you to imagine that you have that same stretch in the shoulders and in the sternum. Because when we come onto this, we're going to come on out. We've got about 5 more minutes left. And we're going to go into a back bend with the boards. And then we're going to go into a forward bend and then into shavasana. So, very nice. Gently release yourself, come on down, let the band fall on out of the legs. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, pull the legs into the chest. That's great. And then you can roll on up. And then when you're ready, go ahead and retract the band. Now, we can do this 2 ways, guys, and I'm going to let you take a vote for this particular one. We can do the back bends with the boards statically, or we can use the bands and do them dynamically. Which would you prefer? All right, we'll use the, Dynamically? Okay, dynamically it is then. So, this is what we're going to do then. So, what's going to happen is, first of all, make sure this is retracted all the way, okay? You want it retracted all the way. And then what you're going to do is this. You're going to watch me first, okay? So I'm going to come in. No, what we're going to do is this. You're going to take your whole assembly unit up over your peg to your right. Then you're going to take your board down. And you're going to make sure the board lines up right with the edge of your mat. Then take one block and stick one block underneath the board in the smallest setting so that when you step on it, it doesn't bend or deflect. And then when you're ready, you're going to take, great, your mat and pull it back about a foot, like that. Okay, great. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your assembly unit up off of your peg, and you're going to put your loop around your hips like that, and then just watch me. So once you have the loop around your hips, watch me. I'm going to grab my handles. Now, what's going to happen here is this. First thing I need to make sure when I pull on my handle, they're pretty static. I'm not going to go anywhere. They keep me stable. So what I can do is this. I can place my band slightly on the lower part, and my feet are forward like this, and the band is stable enough that I can drop into the pose like this. But I'm pulling myself up. But watch me first. Watch me first. This is the first variation. You may have to adjust your handles. If I'm going to adjust my handles, I'm going to put this up over the loop, up over my shoulders, and I'm going to lengthen this about a quarter, maybe halfway actually, and watch what happens now. So, and I'm only going to give two. Sometimes there's 3 and 4 different ways of doing this. Here what's going to happen is I'm going to place my arms through the band like this. You see that? Now, I need to make sure that I'm dynamic. So I take it off the white rope, and I place it on the black. Now watch this. So here, I've got support into my shoulders and into my hips. But this is the thing, guys. You've got to make sure, look at me for just 1 minute, you've got to make sure that you have enough length. Because if you don't in the arms, so this is really much better than even before. Because that way, I want my heels, look at me, on the edge of the board. My feet will never go slide. And I can hold the head up, and I do my dynamic back bends like that. So I think it is worth every single minute that it takes to get you into the pose, because we're going to lengthen this even more. A little more. Okay, try that. Beautiful. So as long as those heels are at that edge, nope, heels off. Now you know you won't go flying back. Exactly. And now go ahead and take your arms slightly back. Beautiful. I have this a little higher for you, a little higher, so you know it's going to actually hold you up right about there. Yeah, there you go. Nice, Steve. Yes. Now, the weights that we actually were using before, so go on back into it, but go easy. Go easy. Don't let the weights jolt you back. Just use the weights so that all this work that we did, we should be pretty open. You want to try them? But the thing is, if you're going to try them, Stella, look, keep it in this line. Don't let them go out to the side. Yes. And pull up out of that low back. Beautiful. You want to try your weights, or you're good? You're good. Beautiful. We're going to lower these even more. Just a little bit more. Yep. That's it. That's it. Nice. Well done. Lift that silver dollar up that's on that chest. Yes. Very nice. And I'll take the weights away when you're ready. Beautiful. That way you'll never, that looks really nice. That silver dollar lifts up. Beautiful. See the difference? Big difference. Nice job. And then you can come on up. You can go back again. You can do this 2 or 3 times. It's really very nice. And if you were going back too far, Steve, you would shorten this up a little bit, right? And that would hold the hips more vertical to get more of an opening. Yeah, and for you, I think that looks good stuff. And you can walk your feet back a little bit to intensify the stretch. Good. Lee, that looks nice. Looks really nice. And, the other thing is you could have also And put a block in between the thighs, and that helps to keep the SI joint nice and stable. I like that. That looks great. As a matter of fact, stay there, bend the knees just a little bit, but don't move. Just hold that. Keep your elbows slightly bent. Yes. And as long as it's not going to the low back and it's coming here, you're good. Is that too much, or are you feeling beautiful? Looks really nice. Nice and firm. Nice and firm. Beautiful. Great, Steve. Yes. Yes. That's it. That looks really nice, Steve. Wow. So guys, look at this. I mean, that's beautiful. That's one of the most beautiful poses I've seen. Very nice. He's got to be really careful because if he jolted, his feet would go flying forward. But he really gets it. Nice job. And then he slowly comes up. That's really nice. All right, turn around, forward bend. You can try it, Stella. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. You can take your arms back. As long as you know your feet aren't going to slip. I'd have my heels off a little more. Your heels are the brakes. There you go. Now, go ahead. You can go straight back, straight back. You don't even have to, yeah, exactly. You totally trust it and go back. Nice. Yeah. Forward bend. Beautiful job. And so this is the counter pose, right? And if you want, for the forward bend, if you want, remember you can retract this all the way and put it behind the back side of the body. But you guys look like you're pretty good. Yeah, nice. Walk your feet a little more forward. Let the head hang. Nice, Lee. Well done. This looks so nice. The form is impeccable. Really great. All right, and then slowly hands to the hips. Come on up nice and easy. All right. Come out of the bend, retract everything up. We said 3 more, 1 more left. And that is the crème de la crème of the poses. So put your whole assembly unit up over the peg to the right. And slowly go ahead and put your mat up over the board all the way. And then slowly sit at the edge of your board and take your hips up. Remember, use the board to pull the sit bones in. Legs come up. You can use the blanket up under the head if you'd like. The hands come up over the head, or they can just cross over the navel. Try to keep the legs really nice and firm, right? Of course, there's a whole other litany I'd love to take you into, but that'll be it. Good. Yes, that's it, Stella. Nice. Nice. Oh, yeah, I remember there was a time you couldn't get your hips there. Very nice. Very nice. Anybody want a blanket under their head? Yep. Okay. That's it, guys. Close the eyes. I'm going to turn the lights down. That's it. Beautiful. Nice work in the feet, Stella. Excellent attention to keeping the legs active, and then release them. So I like to hydrostatically activate the legs, then release them. Activate the legs, then release them. Because again, it just helps with the way the fluids flow. So you guys did a lot of great work, really did. You did a lot of nice work. We even got it on film that proves it. So now you just let go and relax. Totally release. Your breath is your music. Full minute and a half. Really giving your body a chance to settle into itself. Your tongue is soft. Your cheeks released. Your temples soft. Your jaw released. Your wrist soft. Your ankles released. Your throat is soft. And your heart released. There's just nothing but love and light that flow. And move your fingers and your toes. Wiggle your arms and your legs. Bring some movement back into the head. Roll the head from one side to the other. Very nice. Pull the legs down, knees into the chest. Go ahead and pull the legs into the chest. Remember, when you roll to your side, you may want to scoot your body to the left and roll to the right, but you'll know better than I as to how it is that you should come on out. And then up to a sitting position. And the sitting position is important after our work just to bring our sense of groundedness back. And bring your hands together if you'd like. Close the eyes for just a moment and get a sense of yourself. Well, thank you. And beautiful work, guys, gals. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for